My name is Cory, Ballad, and this It Don't Make Sense. And I'm here today to talk to you for a few minutes. Now, I was watching Dr. Phil, and they had Burke Ramsey on there, who is Jonbenet Ramsey's older brother. Now, I was very young when this whole Jonbenet Ramsey thing was out, and what I understood was that she was murdered, or she was missing. She was missing, and they never had found her. But it's now like the 20th year anniversary of it, and so they were doing all these specials on TV about it, and so I watched a couple of them, and she was found. She was actually found that exact same day, murdered in her basement of the home of the family. Her parents were like rich people, and she was in beauty pageants, like that show Tyler's and Tiara's. She was like that. She had an older brother. She was 6 at the time. The brother was 9 years old, and so he was on Dr. Phil because he was the only person in the family that never talked. Ever since it started, basically, they have been accusing the parents, who are John Ramsey and Patsy Ramsey. And some people have been accusing Burke Ramsey. So they wanted him to speak. A few interesting things that I noticed watching this and watching other things before this, but I'm able to speak about it right now, is that Dr. Phil, when he was on the show, he interviewed him. It was a 4-part episode, actually. So in the first 2, he was interviewing Burke Ramsey, who was the brother. And then on the third one, he took a break from the interview and he answered some questions because everybody, was on Twitter and stuff saying, commenting on what Burke was saying or how he was acting and stuff like that. So Dr. Phil, he answered some questions and he gave his talk. He gave his, not rendition, but he gave his analysis, I guess you could say, because I think he's like a psychologist. So he gave his analysis. What he said that I found really interesting was he said that Burke Ramsey was never a suspect in the case, as far as police and the detectives were concerned. He was never a suspect in the case. Now, I was watching some other things, some other specials or what, documentaries and what have you about the situation. And I came to the conclusion that Burke Ramsey was a suspect at one point in time. And so it just made me think about how the media will manipulate you. So you have to be careful about that, because I guess in the other documentaries, they were giving different scenarios. Because, the murder case is still unsolved. They still haven't found out who killed her or arrested anybody. So they were given different scenarios because her head was bashed in and it appeared like she had been strangled, but some were saying that the strangulation was a ploy. It was after the fact. The real reason that she died was she was bashed over the head, and they don't know what she got bashed over the head with. They have all these theories about what she got bashed over the head with. They say the strangulation was a ploy. They had this ransom note. They saying it was a ploy. It was written by the mother. The handwriting was similar. And Dr. Phil was saying, actually, that she was almost eliminated with her handwriting. But the other things that I was seeing, they were saying that she was close, her handwriting was close to that of the ransom note. So you have to watch out and be careful about the media, because, these detectives and things, they have their theories. And so they're trying to project their theories onto you. Also, the people were commenting and sending in questions to Dr. Phil. And they were talking about Burke's behavior, Dr. Phil would ask him a question. He was always laughing and smiling or whatever. And they were saying, how could he act like that? He's being accused of murder and, he's acting strange. And Dr. Phil was basically saying he was nervous. He was kind of an awkward kind of fellow. And that's just the way he behaved. He didn't think he was avoiding the questions or lying or whatever, because people were saying they feel like he's lying and all this kind of stuff. Dr. Phil was saying no. They were also talking about, during the thing, Patsy Ramsey, who is the mother of Jonbenet Ramsey and Burke Ramsey. Back when it happened, her and the husband did an interview for CNN, and it was very detrimental to their public appearance because Patsy Ramsey, she was composed and she was answering the questions, and they thought she was, a cold person and she wasn't showing any emotion, so she must have had something to do with the killing. And I just found it interesting because people, there's no certain way, there's no code or rule book or law that says you have to behave a certain way in any given situation. So, but society will dictate to you what they feel like your behavior should be in a certain situation. Him smiling and stuff like that, that's a sign of him being guilty or him hiding something. You feel like he should be sullen or whatever the case, because the girl died and she's on TV giving an interview. She should be on there bawling her eyes out and falling all over the floor. And it happened a couple of weeks ago. You can't tell her how to grieve, or you can't tell him Burke how to behave during an interview. It's a bit weird, That's just interesting to me. It just brought up those questions, so I don't know. Just rant and give my spill on it. But anyway, I'll be back soon. I'm Cory Ballad, and you can subscribe to my channel. It Don't Make Sense podcast. Big Sean and Mark Litt, they'll be back, but this is just me giving a little rant. So I'll see you guys later.